What's up guys and welcome. You're watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with the reigning Arnold Classic champion Samson Dauda. Now we only have one comparison to make here. How did Samson look 4 days out of Prague, which was a few months ago, versus today about 12 days out of this year's Arnold Classic? So everything seems improved. Everything looks positive. He looks harder, drier and way more detailed in his latest update, especially in comparison to what he looked before Prague Pro. And that is the variable that Samson could really control going into this show, the conditioning factor. Now, honestly, I do not expect to see some major improvements in his back shots, or in the size department per se, simply because there wasn't just enough time after Prague Pro 2023, which was his last show of 2023, and this year's Arnold Classic Ohio. And we all know back shots are simply his weak shots. And the time between these two shows just wasn't enough to bring up a relatively weak body part. But if he can just close that conditioning gap between him and Hadi Chopin, his overwhelming size along with that superior shape and aesthetics, that might be enough to beat a guy like Hadi Chopin. Now it is so surprising how fast Samson recovered from that setback during this prep, a hamstring injury. That injury happened at about 9 weeks out of the show, which led to him skipping a few like this. But he was back in business sooner than we all expected. So less than 2 weeks out, Samson is looking absolutely nuts. So is Samson gonna make history? Can he beat Hadi Chopin? Antoine did not have as much hype as some of the other younger guys, especially going into this year's Arnold Classic. Most people were not even talking about him up until a few days ago, when he started posting some crazy physique updates. And the reason is maybe he has that kind of physique that gets super impressive as he gets closer and closer to the show, as he gets more and more shredded. And Antoine right now has no more fat to lose. He looks diced. He is shredded to the bone. And if you guys remember, conditioning has never been his issue. He has always come in spot on. But this time, with that conditioning, he looks bigger as well, especially this close to the show. So we all know nothing is guaranteed in bodybuilding, because you can look spectacular the day before the show, and you can end up flat on the stage. Plus the pressure of such a big stage like the Arnold Classic, which is the second biggest bodybuilding show of the year, that can be a huge factor. Plus, a lot of these guys are coming back after a gap of 1.5 years, so that is also another factor. But I am glad to see Antoine getting the recognition that he deserves. Undoubtedly the best he has ever looked. Wesley Weiser's progress pictures during this year's Arnold Classic prep. Those were some of the most impressive updates that came out of this category. I have to say, very few guys have such deep lines and shoulders like Wesley. Not just in classic physique, but in any division for that matter. His back in particular has grown the most. There is so much detail and density there. Now, if you think about it, Wesley has kind of a disadvantage because he is so tall. And it was a disadvantage because, just like Chris Bumstead, only 2 pounds were added to his weight cap. He is as tall as Chris Bumstead, if not more actually. And in order for him to beat some of the other guys who were able to beat him last year at the Olympia, the guys who are more aesthetic than him, he needs more V-taper, and for that he needs more outer sweep. And to bring up his outer sweep, he needs more size, and for that he needs more weight cap. Now, his V-taper is a lot more impressive now, especially what we saw at last year's Mr. Olympia, compared to what he looked like 2 years ago. So looking forward to his comparison with the top guys in 12 days. So 4 out of the 6 guys that beat him at the Olympia last year, they are competing here at the Arnold. And I'm sure Wesley must be looking to beat at least some of those guys. So let's see how high can he place at this year's Arnold. And hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video. And smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.